Texas Megachurch pastor Robert Jeffress said that President Obama's reelection would lead to the reign of the Antichrist. Of course it would. Of course it would. We of course would guess that. This is pretty interesting. And now let me preface this with this context. Is this specific enough, advocating for or against a specific political candidate, such that his church should lose tax-exempt status, which churches enjoy? Okay, that's really the question. Because if you talk about issues, it's kind of blurry. It's a blurry gray area. You're not supposed to talk about specific candidates, though. Here we go. Quote, "I want you to hear me tonight. I'm not saying that President Obama is the Antichrist. I'm not saying that at all. One reason I know he's not the Antichrist is the Antichrist is going to have much higher poll numbers when he comes. President Obama is not the Antichrist, but what I am saying is this. The course he is choosing to lead our nation is paving the way for the future reign of the Antichrist. It is time," here's the key part, "it is time for Christians to stand up and push back against the evil that is overtaking our nation, and they should do that how, Lewis? Via the ballot box." Ladies and gentlemen, this has to be enough to say to him, no more tax exemption for your so-called church. You're going out there and telling people how to vote. You can't have this tax-exempt status. Am I off on this?
No, you're not off. But like we said before, are you just going to target this one church, or are you going to apply this to every church in the country?
Let's start with this church. A lot of these evangelical churches are independent. In other words, it's not like the Catholic Church, which is under the umbrella of the Vatican. Okay, we're talking about one church. Let's not even answer the other question. Start with this church. This church should not have tax-exempt status. Why is this not happening, though, Natan? It seems like it's just not really being looked into.
Yeah, I don't know. Although I do worry about, because if they singled out this one church, I assume that there would be a lawsuit, and then maybe the Supreme Court would have to rule on this, and since it's a 5-4 majority with Scalia at the helm.
Then you set precedent.
Exactly. But I would definitely refer this Jeffress guy to the Johns Hopkins Neuroscience Center. They do a lot of great work with total nutballs.
Okay.
I think one reason elected officials might not be going after churches is because they want votes when next election comes around. And if they're targeting churches trying to get rid of tax-exempt status, they're going to lose votes.
Maybe it's not specific enough to mention a candidate by name. Maybe, in other words, for it to be a legitimate mentioning of a candidate specifically, you have to name them as well as do like a family tree of them, brief medical record survey, just so we can be sure we're talking about the same Barack Obama who's running for president. Maybe there's a shadow of doubt here.
Doubt it.
Okay, very good.